Alright, so I'm down here trying to figure out the wiring for the Nitrous because it's been quite a while since I wired it the first time with Haltech. Now that's K-Pro, different. I left everything in there. The only thing I didn't leave in there is these two wires right here, which they were the inputs and the outputs that went to Haltech. So now I need to run those to K-Pro. But I gotta figure out which one is input and which one's output because I didn't label them. I just wired them in. I probably should have made a note or something, but I didn't. So now I gotta trace these things down. So fun. Okay, so I got the wired up. It wasn't that big of a deal. I basically just have the power going. The power from the switch is going to this brake switch input, and then the output, this ground, is going to the other side of the relay. So when it outputs, that's when it does its thing. Basically, it's pretty simple. The Nitrous control in here is much more simple than Haltech. Haltech has a lot of things you can do with it. This one is really limited. And honestly, it's super annoying because you can't turn some of these things off just because I wanted to turn them off just so I could check it. But unfortunately, I have to have the engine running to actually check it because you can't turn the load to, like, I think like the max I could get was like -12. Like, it won't let me get it negative enough that it'll actually work when it's off. Even if I set everything to, you know, basically 0 and 0 and 0, it still doesn't work. But running, I checked it. Everything seems to be working. It's, you know, it's injecting fuel. It's making it richer. So I think we'll be good for testing it. There's this fuel and ignition chart, so you can mess with these on Honda. Just for starters, I just pulled 2 degrees all the way across because I'm going to start out with like a 50 shot and you know, go up from there. But I'm gonna have to change these jets out, and then hopefully weather will clear up enough that I can go drive it. Okay, so I put the jets in. I pulled the old 100 shot jets out, put in the ones for a 50 shot or whatever. So those are in there. So now that I have that wiring figured out, you know what that means, guys? I can actually put the trim panel, the sill panel, back in. I've never had it in the whole time I've had the car because I always knew that I was going to end up rewiring and going through stuff. But now, fingers crossed, I should be able to put it in without any issues because the K-Pro, I'm planning on keeping it where it's at. I'm not planning on doing any other wiring, so why not? All right, look at this. Got that in there, and holy shit, was it a pain in the ass. I don't want to have to take that out again. Hopefully I don't have to. And I got the dead pedal in. I didn't have that in for quite some time. Actually looks like a car. Check this shit out. This panel down here, surprisingly to my knowledge, actually fits without any trimming. I thought for sure I was gonna have to cut for the ECU. Nope, it fits perfect. Look at that. That's awesome. Oh man, guys. Tires are here. Throwing them on right now, so we can go make some rips in the Mini Cooper. Should be hooking up now. All right, I got those sticky tires on there. I actually cleaned the car. It's all shiny. It's running, and now we're gonna go make some pulls on Nitrous and see how she does. Well, I didn't make it very far before I already have an issue. She's fucking leaking. It's leaking from this damn switch, which it doesn't want to focus, but you can see it's kind of frosty right there. My fucking bottle heater switch is leaking, so that's fucking cool. Okay, so for the moment, I took this switch off. It's still hooked up, so it'll still run. It just obviously won't shut off. I just hooked the line straight up, so let's see if it leaks. Sweet, no leaks. That's good. She's still a little bit cold. We're gonna have to warm her up a little bit. This kind of sucks because that means that I'm gonna have to constantly watch the bottle gauge to make sure the pressure is always the same, but that's all right, it'll still work. All right, guys, that first pull, I'm sorry I didn't get to take you for a ride with that one. I had to video the wideband, but as soon as the Nitrous came on, it just started blowing the tires off, and I'm only running a 50 shot. So I think the road is too cold. I think the tires are probably too cold. I tried doing a little bit of a burnout before I did it. Apparently it wasn't enough. I might have to do a bigger burnout. I don't know. Yeah, it actually probably needs a little bit of fuel too. I need to do another pull to make sure, but it was pretty much like 12.0, and I'd rather have it a little bit richer than that just because of all the shit I got going on. But yeah, I'm gonna try it again. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you, but after that one, I will do a video. Okay, so I made one more pull, and when I did, third gear was fine, and then I was like, you know what? It was spinning. I can't really check the air-fuel ratio, so I tried fourth, and it didn't feel right. So I was like, what the fuck? So I tried a couple more, and now the nitrous isn't working, so I think I blew a fuse. So we're about to find out. Yep, that'll do it. So I just threw it. Luckily, I had some more fuses. So I just threw another fuse in there, and we're gonna try it again. See where we're at. Maybe that'll do her. Let's find out. Nope, didn't work. I'm just gonna do a pull on the way back, even though I'm almost 100% sure I just blew another fuse. Just because I heated the tires up, might as well do a rip, right? We'll turn the switch on just to find out. Well, fuck. Blew a 15. I had a 10 in there. The only other fuse I have with me is a 30. I know if I put that in there, my buddy Chase is gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing, bud? But I kind of want it to work right now. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Okay, in case you're wondering, I moved a 20 amp from one of those other spots to that spot, and I threw the 30 in one of those because I know those ones aren't blowing right now. This is just temporary. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that little detail. We're gonna try it again. If it blows the 20, obviously I'm gonna have to go through this fucking wiring because something's wrong, but we're gonna try it again. In case you're wondering why I had the big smile at the end of that last pull, it's because one of you guys told me that I don't smile enough when I make pulls. It's because I'm concentrating, guys. Like I gotta pay attention to things, and like, yeah, I'm serious. I look serious because I am serious. I'm making sure it doesn't blow up, guys. But I gave you a smile on the last one, so let's go make a pull. Is that good? We got something going on wiring, guys. It's never easy. Back here in the garage. I definitely need to label this fuse box because holy shit, I don't even remember what I did last time and I didn't label anything like an idiot. And unfortunately my label maker is, I ran out of the little paper stuff, so I'm gonna get some tomorrow. So this is the fuse that was blowing, that one right there. It's the, I checked it, this is actually the terminal 15 side, so it should be the activation side of the relay, so I don't know why that thing would be pulling 20 amps or more. It shouldn't be, so I must have a short to somewhere. I'm gonna have to probably pull this box out and look at the back side and track some wires down. Okay, I started turning into the wiring. It got really in depth last night. I didn't record any of it because it was getting out of control. I worked on this thing for like 4 hours trying to figure out what was going on. I can show you on the board basically what happened or what I think I figured out. Essentially, this is the wiring diagram for like what it is set up at right now. And basically what I figured out is there's a short somewhere in either this wire, just somewhere in this part of the circuit. It's shorted to ground intermittently. And the problem is when I move wiring around, it had a short, then it disappeared, and now it's not coming back. And I've traced the wiring down, I've looked it all over, and I can't figure out what's shorting it out. So at this point, I think it's gonna be back to the drawing board, and I'm gonna rip all the wiring out and I'm gonna start over. I'm just gonna redo the whole thing and make sure everything's right because I don't know exactly what's causing the problem 100%, and I think the only way to 100% fix is that I'm just gonna have to redo it. So I'm gonna do it more by the K-Pro instructions and go from there. All right, so I drew the diagram for, this is basically, it's a modified version of what Honda has. Honda like K-Pro's version, they actually had these two going to the same thing. They were going to a 12-volt switch, which doesn't really make sense to me. I'd rather have these separated because this is the load side. This is just the activation circuit, so I can run a smaller amp fuse here and a bigger amp fuse here. Basically, this is what I'm going to try to do. I did switch the input because this one, like, you can invert it on there, but I'd rather just have one that's already set up for ground. I don't know, just because, I don't know, just how I want it. But we're going to go off the E29 in this one. Also have the same output for here, but as you can see, it's totally different than this one. This one's going to be ground side switch, so there's not going to be any power going to the computer. It's going to simplify things. I won't need the diode because it's not Hall Tech. It doesn't need that. So I think we're going to get to wiring this setup, and it should work a lot better. All right, guys, I got everything hooked up. So you can see here, if I flip the switch, this is kind of interesting. I didn't intentionally do this, but if I flip the switch, the check engine light's on. So it tells me that the nitrous is armed. And then I'll show you what happens next. So I unhooked the intake temp sensor, so you can see it's got a fault code, just so you can see this. So with the switch on, if it's on, the check engine light blinks to let me know that there's a check engine light. And then if I shut the switch off, it's on solid. That's pretty, that's kind of cool, actually. I kind of like that. All right, guys, I made a pull with the bottle shut to make sure that the fuel was richening up like it should, and it did. So that's a good plan. I did take a little bit of pressure out of the tires because obviously it was spinning pretty bad last time. Honestly, I probably need to take more pressure out, but we're gonna try it. I'll do a little bit of burnout, and we'll see if we can actually check this thing, check the tune this time, see what it does. Successful. I mean, it's only a 50 shot, so it doesn't feel like a lot, but it, yeah, I mean, it definitely made a difference. It's pulling timing like it should. I will say it looked like it was kind of going pretty rich at the top, so I'm gonna make another pull and see how it does. I might actually record this one, so you guys won't see it, but yeah, because I just want to see what it's actually doing up top, because I didn't go all the way through the whole pull, and it was starting out at like 12, but then it like went down to, it was probably 11.3 at the end of the run. Just pretty rich. Obviously, I'd like to pull a little bit out of there at the top. It's hard to say, actually, let's see. Yeah, my pressure it's kind of high, actually. It's probably at almost 1,000, which I'm probably gonna be running at like 950, so I might be able to pull some jet out of it to get it where it needs to be. Actually, I'm probably gonna have to up the nitrous checks. Now to think about it, that's the smallest fuel jet I have, so I don't know, let's try it and see what happens. All right, so I noticed it was running a little bit lean right at 5,500, which this, you can see the spike here. It's kind of true, kind of not. It's showing like 14, but it was actually on my, on the phone, it was showing, it went to like 12.8, like, in just a split second, and then it went right back down to being where it needed to be. So, I went in here and I changed the table a little bit. I'm gonna add 5% fuel right here just to see if it takes that little bit out of there. Actually, you know what? We're gonna add 6 just because. And we're gonna see, yeah, we're gonna make a pull, make sure that it smooths out. All right, so that did solve a little bit of it. I actually probably added too much fuel because I think I think the wideband is just getting, it's revving up so fast. I think the wideband might be getting a little bit confused, especially because VTEC's right there. Because right now I have VTEC set at 5, and then nitrous comes on at 55. And basically, as soon as it hits VTEC, between the VTEC point and then like right when it hits nitrous, the wideband goes to O2 sensor cut, which it thinks it's going too lean. But like if you do an all motor, or like, well, not all motor, but blower only pull, it stays pretty flat. I mean, it has a little bit of a blip when it hits VTEC, but I think it's just because it's just revving so fast. I think it's having a hard time keeping up. But this time, instead of going like lean after the nitrous came on, this time it dropped to 11.2 and then went to about 11.5 and then came back up to 12 and then came back down again. So I think I'll pull a little bit of fuel because 11.2 that's pretty rich. We can take a skosh off of that. And then realistically, I think it's fine. I mean, it's pretty cold out still. Like, I think I'll try it like this for a little bit, and then when it gets warmer out, maybe we'll jet it up if I can actually get traction. So, I don't know. I'm going to try this, and then I'm going to try making a pull, like, see if I can do a third gear. I've been doing fourth gear pulls, because that's the only way I can really get it to not spin. I'm going to try to do a burnout, and then I'm going to try to do a third and see if maybe it'll grip up. I haven't really tried it yet with Nitrous today, so maybe. She's getting it pretty good, man. That like I don't think second gear roll is gonna work, because the third gear she was spinning pretty good. It'd be interesting to see what happens when it's like warmer out. Well, that, and I could drop the tire pressure down a little bit, but dude, she fucking, yeah, it's moving. Like, I should probably get my Dragy and put it in here and try to do that, but at the moment I'm kind of hungry, and yeah, that might be it for tuning today. But dude, freaking getting it. Honestly, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a burnout real quick, and then I'm gonna pull out here, and I'm gonna try to do a second gear roll, like off the bottle. I'm just curious if these tires, like with a little bit of heat in them, do anything. Like at the moment, I should still drop the pressure, but we'll try it. Wow, it actually had some. I didn't even want to do a burnout right there. It's actually where we're trying to go. There it goes. I lied. I grabbed the switch. I wanted to see. Okay, so I'm out here in the garage, and I was warming it up, just about ready to, I was gonna go make some pulls with the Dragy. Notice anything missing? My oil cap is missing. And I figured out, it is, there it is, it's down there. I don't know when the fuck that happened, but that's pretty cool. All right, she topped off with oil cap's back on there. Let's go make some pulls. All right guys, I don't know why, but this Dragy app is so glitchy. Like, it showed that I had service on both of those runs. It recorded it. It showed 60. It showed 130. It didn't time it. I have no idea why, which is really aggravating, because it's really hard on the engine to be running 130 fucking miles an hour. So, I kind of just guesstimated by just checking the time of the video. And like on Nitrous, it was like around 10 seconds, maybe a little bit less, might have been like 9 something, which is honestly pretty close to what it was doing when it was on like 100 shot and like 8 pounds with the other engine. So that's kind of concerning, because that means it's not, if that's accurate, which I don't know if it is, so I'm guessing, but if it is accurate, that means it's like the same speed with like, less displacement, but all it really means is less torque. Granted, it's not fully dyno tuned, it's still street tuned. I'm pretty conservative on the timing. I could go up on timing, and I'm only on a 50 shot, but I'm on a lot more boost, so I don't get it. I might try doing some runs without it recording, and maybe just like with just the normal settings to see if it'll record that way, like actually time it. I don't know. Either that, or I'm gonna have to find a different place, because I've had bad luck where I'm at right now. It just, yeah, I don't know. We'll keep trying.
Mile 60.
Okay, so I finally got that one run. Obviously, ignore everything but 6130, because I forgot to hit reset right before I went. But I mean, it did okay, but 1016 is still pretty slow. Because like my best before with the Mini was 976, and that was on 6 psi. It was like 6 to 8. I think that's when I had possible belt slip issues, but I was running 100 shot on that with the K24. So shit, guys, I think I'm gonna start playing around with the tune a little bit more. Obviously it's got more in it, so I'm gonna have to, maybe I'll add some timing, maybe we should just jet it up. Yeah, I might just jet it up. All right, this is what I did. So I went in, I added 1 degree of timing to the main table, and then I swapped out the jets, and I've got a 42 nitrous jet in there, so it should be like a, well, if you look, do the math, it's like a 67 shot or something, but we'll call it a 70 shot. And I put in the fuel jet that I have is a little bit too big, so it's probably going to be a little rich, but that's all right. I can pull it out in the table. So I'm gonna make a test hit, see where it's at, make an adjustment, and then I'll make a pass. Let's see how we're doing. All right, I made a quick pull. It went rich just like I thought. It was like 11.0. Well, obviously I like it a little bit leaner than that, but it felt good. It didn't spin, so that tells me I'm gonna jet it up some more. I'm just gonna throw the 100 jets in there and let her eat. The tires are warm. Might not need a burnout. That's good. She was ripping on that one. It was, yeah, it was blowing the tires off a little bit. I mean, it was still accelerating, but it was shredding the tires. So maybe I do need more of a burnout. I think I'm actually gonna pull a little bit of timing just on the hit to maybe soften that so it doesn't knock the tires off. And then I'm gonna go down a jet size in the fuel because it was a little bit rich, and I did that on purpose because I know I'm running more boost, and I was like, we'll play on the safe side. But it was like pretty much 10.9 to 11.0. So yeah, I'll come down 1 jet size, take that little bit of timing out, and try it again. Guys, that's pretty good. It yeah, 855 is quite a bit better than it was before, that's for sure. It's still not where I'd like it to be, and actually it started to break up a little bit at like 125. It broke up a little bit and then it smoothed out, and it was going so fast I didn't catch it on the wideband. So I pulled 1 more degree of timing all the way across, and I'm gonna go make another pull and kind of watch the wideband, and this time I'm actually gonna record on the laptop because I just totally forgot, and just kind of see. I'm not gonna do a full run, but at least see where it's at, make sure it's safe. Yeah, and then maybe just call it a day. It's good enough for right now. I haven't left yet, but I did notice the bottle pressure was kind of low, so it's possible, and maybe it was breaking up because it was going rich, because the bottle pressure was down at like 850. So it's possible the bottle might be getting low too, because I didn't fill it before I drove out today, and it wasn't full before, so it might be getting on the bottom half. It's hard to say. We'll find out when we get back to the garage, but right now we're just letting the bottle warm up a little bit and hopefully see what we can do. She's basically empty. There was a little bit of nitrous in there. It's on the scale, it's reading, it's got like 3 pounds in it. Like, that's basically empty. It's got a lot of air in there because it's down on the bottom. So yeah, I think that's what was happening on the top where it was breaking up, because it was going pretty rich. Other than that, it was doing okay. Checking the numbers, versus other people and what it's doing, you can tell that basically 60 to 120 is drastically faster than it was, and it's way faster than a lot of cars on the list. that have a faster 60 to 130, it's like a second and a half slower than comparable cars, the 120 to 130. So it's pretty obvious that it was just laying over right there. And I think if I put a full bottle in it, I think, yeah, it'd probably pick up like another second and a half, honestly, which is pretty crazy because I was looking on the list, and currently it's the second fastest 60 to 130 Mini Cooper in the world on Dragy. So I'm fairly certain if I put a full bottle in it, it'd probably be the fastest, which is, she's fucking getting it. I do think that is going to be it for this video. So like, subscribe, do the things. Peace out.